Okay, so if you're building with large language models, you've almost certainly run headfirst into, well, the VRAM wall.
Oh, yeah.
It's just this massive bottleneck, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're training those huge models. And for ages, AdamW is, our trusted workhorse.
The standard, yeah.
But its memory demands are getting, frankly, absolutely brutal now.
They really are.
So today, we're diving deep into the cutting edge, the 2025 landscape of VRAM-efficient optimizers. What are they? How do they work?
And why you need to know about them.
Exactly. Why choosing the right one is no longer just some minor technical detail. So let's unpack this VRAM challenge, shall we?
Let's do it. It's truly the defining challenge right now for so many people. AdamW, I mean, it works, but it's just this notorious memory hog.
Why, though? What makes it so heavy?
It's how it stores its internal states. See, for every single trainable parameter in your model, and we're talking billions sometimes, Adam needs to keep two separate 32-bit state vectors. One's for momentum, the other's for variance. Think of it like a detailed personal record for every single tiny weight.
Okay, 32-bit numbers per parameter.
Exactly. So that adds up to 8 bytes per parameter, just for the optimize.
8 bytes doesn't sound like that much initially, but scale it up.
Oh, it scales massively. Let me give you a really shocking example. Take Llama 7B. 7 billion parameters.
Okay.
Those AdamW states, they demand about 56 gigabytes of VRAM alone.
56 gigs.
Yeah.
Just for the optimizer states.
Yep. That's literally 4 times the memory the actual model parameters themselves need.
Wow. Okay, that puts it in perspective. 4 times the model size just to track the update.
Precisely. And that incredible memory appetite, that's the catalyst. That's why we're seeing this explosion of innovation in VRAM-efficient optimizers. It's forcing a fundamental rethink.
Right. That Llama 7B example,
Right.
56 gigs. That's just staggering. So given this monumental memory challenge, what are the main categories of solutions emerging? Are we just seeing tweaks to AdamW, or are there entirely new ways people are thinking about this?
That's a great question. And it's really a multi-pronged attack. We're seeing both tweaks and completely new paradigms.
Okay.
So on one front, you've got solutions focused purely on state compression.
Compression, like zipping files.
Sort of, yeah. Think of it like taking those big 32-bit state vectors, the momentum and variance, and just shrinking them down, maybe to 8-bit or even 4-bit precision sometimes.
Without losing too much accuracy, presumably.
That's the trick. You want to do it without losing too much numerical fidelity. A good example here is LPMM 4-bit. It drastically cuts memory by quantizing these states down to 4 bits.
Got it. So you're essentially optimizing the file size of the optimizer states without totally corrupting the data.
Exactly. Being smarter with the bits you actually snore.
Brilliant. Okay, so compression is one way. What about approaches beyond just shrinking the existing states?
Right. Then there's what you might call structural redesign. This is where optimizers fundamentally change how they store or process these states.
So not just smaller states, but different states altogether, or fewer.
Precisely. Instead of tracking every single parameter individually with those 2 state vectors, some might say aggregate information or use completely different update rules that just don't require as much stored info.
Interesting.
This often leads to more minimalist designs, like scale is one example. It practically eliminates some state variables altogether. We're talking VRAM consumption down to fractions of a gigabyte in some cases.
Fractions of a gig, compared to 56 gigs or AdamW on Llama 7B.
It's a different world. Imagine clearing off, most of your disk, keeping only the absolute essentials you need right now. That's kind of the idea.
That's a massive leap in efficiency. Now, I've also heard some buzz about other shifts, maybe even more radical, things like subspace optimization. Is that related?
Absolutely. That's a third really fascinating area, subspace optimization. It's a bit newer as a paradigm, but the idea is you don't try to optimize the entire parameter space at once.
Which is, unimaginably huge for these models.
Exactly. Instead, it cleverly searches for solutions within a much smaller, more efficient subspace. It significantly cuts down the dimensionality of the optimization problem itself.
Okay, so it's like searching for a needle in a haystack, but instead of searching the whole haystack.
You smartly narrow your search down to just one likely corner. It's very clever, especially for these massive models.
Right, so we've got compression, structural redesign, these new subspace paradigms. What about the ultimate goal? I mean, memory is one thing, but Isn't training faster also key?
Definitely. And that leads to another category, maybe less directly about VRAM saving, but focused on accelerating convergence.
Getting to the answer quicker.
Exactly. These optimizers might still use a fair bit of memory, maybe comparable to AdamW sometimes, but they get your model to a good performance level in fewer training steps or less wall clock time.
Which saves compute resources overall.
Right. Sophia's a great example here. People often see roughly twice the convergence speed compared to AdamW with it. You get to a good model much, much faster. The time savings can be paramount, even if VRAM isn't your absolute top bottleneck.
It's just incredible how quickly this whole field is moving. If you look back maybe just the last couple of years, what's been the most surprising development for you in how optimizers are being designed or chosen?
Good question. I think for me, the biggest surprise has been the sheer diversity of the solutions popping up, and maybe how they've really driven home that the idea of a single one-size-fits-all best optimizer, well, that's rapidly becoming a relic of the past.
Right.
It turns out that different constraints, whether it's, hardcore VRAM limits, or maybe training time is your killer, or even the specific data set or model architecture you're using, they all call for entirely different tools. It's made the field feel much more dynamic, much more tailored.
So wrapping this up a bit, what does this all mean for you, the listener, the person actually trying to train these models on real-world hardware, given all these different approaches?
Yeah, what's really fascinating, and I think the key takeaway, is that the era of just picking one best optimizer, like defaulting to AdamW, is definitely over.
Okay.
The future really involves making a strategic choice, based very much on your specific needs and constraints.
Can you give some examples? Like, if I have almost no VRAM.
Sure. If you're facing extreme VRAM constraints, then yeah, solutions like LPM and 4-bit that we mentioned, or LDATM, or that incredibly minimalist scale, they are absolute game changers. They can push memory consumption down to, like I said, fractions of a gigabyte.
Wow. Okay. But what if time is my main enemy?
Right. If your primary concern is wall clock training time, getting results fast, then something like Sophia, offering maybe twice the convergence speed over AdamW, could be your best bet. It gets you to a good model much faster.
And what about good old AdamW? Is it totally obsolete?
Surprisingly, maybe not entirely, if ultimate downstream task performance is your absolute top priority, and crucially, you have the VRAM to spare.
If you have those 56 gigs free.
Yeah, if you have the hardware budget, then AdamW might still be a surprisingly reliable, well-understood choice in some scenarios. It's not completely out of the picture yet, which is interesting in itself.
Right, so it's really moved beyond just speed or memory. It's about making this informed, strategic choice for your specific project, your goals, your hardware.
Exactly that. Ultimately, selecting your optimizer, it's just not a minor technical detail anymore, something you just set and forget.
It's fundamental.
It's a deeply strategic decision. It shapes your entire training stack. It influences your model's final generalization capabilities. It can even dictate the hardware you can realistically use. It's really about building the right toolkit for your specific LLM journey. And understanding this evolving landscape, it's now absolutely critical for anyone trying to push the boundaries of AI. Makes you wonder, what optimizers will we see next year, and how will they redefine what's possible?